his own background. They were coming from very humble families. The one who was responsible for Garissa was a university student whose father was a civil servant, and the father kept on telling the system, arrest my son, arrest my son. And eventually, they were able to perform what they performed using very rudimentary things. And the process that was employed to find out what was the source, nothing substantive was found. Tell me that you're going to have a system whereby somebody who is, because he's jealous of my wealth, I have got 3-4 buildings here, you can go out there and say, that money is from a money laundering. That was the money that was supposed to be for the Molo constituency, and the Honorable Kimani is the one who misappropriated it. That money is from proceeds of money laundering. He's trying to clean up what he stole from the constituency. So basically what we're saying is that you better give us concrete things. Don't just bandy these words of terrorism and money laundering. Give us information. You are a finance person, for us to be able to understand and believe what you're telling us.
Thank you, Honorable Faramali. In fact, Honorable members, I want you to give Honorable Kuria Kimani time. Remember, I directed that I want him to be heard in silence because of the deep understanding he has on these issues. Honorable Kuria Kimani.
Thank you. Yes, to be honest, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable member is right. I have more information on finance than I have on terrorism. But I can relate from best practice. You know what they're saying? And let me reiterate my earlier points. For every of these attacks, with the $2,000, there's money involved. And you could talk about the $2,000 for buying an AK-47, and you could talk about the United States September 11 attack. That the volume of that transaction was way bigger, because for you to... yeah. I think I need protection from from the Honorable Faramari. But just proceed.
Members
what you are
will
saying,
not debate away from the debate.
He'll have his chance. My point is, Honorable Speaker, in 2025, money is not just held in the banks. It is held in SACCOs, it is held in virtual assets, it is held in estates, and it is important that the same conditionalities, the same scrutiny, the same know your customer measures that we put in our banking system, we do on all these others where money is being stored in 2025. And that is progress, because that is a reality. Many young people, Honorable Speaker, very few younger people, Honorable Speaker, are operating bank accounts. M-Pesa transactions now hold bigger deposits than most banks, for example. So if when I went to withdraw $1 million shillings from my bank account, I need to provide documentation, then the same thing should be done when I'm withdrawing $1 million shillings from M-Pesa, when I'm withdrawing $1 million shillings from my virtual assets. The same questions when I'm depositing some money to buy some real estate development, Honorable Speaker. That is the intent of this bill. And let us remember again, the choice you have between being on the grey lists or being on the black list, and whether you want to go the North Korea way or the Iran way, Honorable Speaker. We have countries that have found themselves in similar situations. South Africa was grey listed in 2023. But what they did, they moved swiftly and amended 6 pieces of law. Their parliament prioritized the AML CFT reforms, and by mid-24, FATF, Financial Action Task Force, acknowledged significant progress. Nigeria enacted their Money Laundering Prevention and Provision Act of 2022, which extended AML obligations to lawyers, accountants, and real estate development, Mr. Speaker. In the United Kingdom, Honorable Speaker, at this point I don't want to be informed. In the United Kingdom, Honorable Speaker,
the Honorable Omar Mwinyi, are you on a point of order or a point of information? Yeah, Honorable Kimani Kuria, you want to be informed by Honorable Omar Mwinyi?
I do not want to be informed, Honorable Speaker.
Yes,
I want to debate, and then
Honorable Omar Mwinyi, you will have your seat.
I'm now raising a point of order. Okay.
Yeah, you are not yet recognized for that. Honorable Kimani Kuria, proceed.
Thank you very much. In the United Kingdom, estate agents and art dealers are required to conduct customer due diligence and report suspicious transactions to the National Crime Agency. In Kenya, we must take decisive steps. We cannot have a weak link to the global fight against financial crime. Honorable Speaker, I would like to congratulate the committee for doing public participation. When reading the report, I saw memoranda that received from 15 detailed, I speak 15 detailed, well-thought memoranda from the Financial Reporting Center, from the Central Bank of Kenya, from the Law Society of Kenya, from my institute, the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya, from Transparency International, and from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. And actually, honorable members, most of all those entities agreed with the merits on the bill, but they were recommending far-reaching amendments that would have changed that were far away from the intent of the bill, Honorable Speaker. And the committee graciously said they will consider that for future legislation, Honorable Speaker. As I conclude, the burden is on us as a National Assembly. We need to send a clear message that Kenya is committed to protecting its financial system, that we honor our international commitments, and that we will not allow criminal networks to flourish unchecked. We must oppose this bill because FATF demands it. Not because FATF demands it, but because our national interests demands it. This is protecting our banks, our pensions, our investments, and our ability to trade and engage with the rest of the world, Honorable Speaker. This bill is not just about compliance. It is about giving confidence to the rest of the world that we are a country that enhances governance, financial integrity, and national standing, Honorable Speaker. And I finish. I think it is very important to reiterate what the impact of blacklisting would be if we don't move from if we move from grey list to blacklist, Honorable Speaker. It means our financial transactions across banks will all go through extra scrutiny, and with time, even the remittance, the diaspora remittance that we get from our diaspora citizen, Honorable Speaker, may not be allowed to go through international banking system, Honorable Speaker. Kenya is a global village, and we must admit that Kenya is now a global village, and we must fit in that global village. And fitting that global village, Honorable Speaker, means that we must move from grey listing. And if you don't, we go to blacklist and we go the way of North Korea and Iran, Honorable Speaker. And with that, I beg to support. And thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Kimani, just before you sit, it is always very beneficial to hear from you. I don't know whether you have the bill. You see, like on public benefits organization, it says that the authority shall periodically identify organizations, and I'm doing this, I know you have wound up, but because of your wealth of knowledge and it being the case that you may not speak under the standing orders, again, honorable members, allow us to, because if we go over this, we'll not hear him under the standing orders again. So open page 115. And I want you to do so with the understanding that no member here is saying we should not fight money laundering or we should not fight terrorism. We want to check that the laws we are making are indeed filling in gaps which we have to fight this thing effectively. So if you look at that proposed clause 43A, look at subclause 1A, you can see it, Honorable Kimani Kuria. By that provision, are we suggesting that this is not happening continuously anyway? Or what does it bring? Because when we say periodically identify organizations that are likely to be at risk of terrorist financing abuse, when we know throughout, even now, one of the duties of the authority to throughout do it, why are we taking it to periodically, and for what purpose do we want to have this, other than the general requirement that they are constantly doing so?
Honorable Speaker, 43, and thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. 43A says that the authority shall have powers to oversight and monitor public benefit organizations that are at risk of terrorism financing, and in particular shall periodically identify organizations that are likely to be at risk of terrorized financing abuse. I have a small understanding of the working of our intelligence systems globally and in Kenya. They are monitoring, there is a monitoring of, for example, all our telephone conversation.
It is true.
And therefore, this is just being in line with the international practice. So the fact that it is happening, I do not see any harm in it being provided for in law. So that in the event that a particular entity is required to submit additional information,
the question
to
is,
demonstrate.
The question is, they are constantly doing so.
Yes.
Why require them only to do it periodically?
And why not?
When we know they are doing it so.
Yeah, but why not?
Why don't we then replace periodically?
Honorable Speaker, I would be
with
very happy.
Constantly.
Okay. Honorable Speaker, I will happily ask the chair of
Anyway,
to carry the amendment and change from periodically to constantly. And that cures the problem then.
Yeah. No. I'm coming. To constantly raise a point of order when you are not recognized is itself disorderly conduct. Yes, so be recognized first. Honorable Murugara, as you say something, I want you to, in addition, open page 97. Actually, 96. When you open page 96, this is in respect of SACCO societies, huh?
Yes.
So if the authority here can impose monetary, civil, or administrative sanctions for violations related, what are these administrative sanctions?
Thank you.
And will there be a hearing? If so, under what provision?
I start with the first one, the use of the word periodically, which I think is all the same whether we say constantly, or we say from time to time, or we say whichever words we use, all of it is periodical. It may be daily, it may be monthly, it may be whatever. So I don't think there is any harm with the semantics of periodical. Yes. It purely places an obligation. From time to time, there is detection. And remember, this is a very complicated topic we are dealing with on terrorism. So many actors are involved, but whenever suspicion is raised, it is called flagging. You have to flag that entity and then you proceed from there. This is what we are trying to do. And especially now that this obligation is not in the main act. It is not provided for. This is why we have provided it in this particular act.
So once the organization is identified, what do you do with the identification?
The law requires you to make a report to the relevant center so that we know what happens. Now, there is jittery about imposition of monetary, civil, or administrative sanctions, but what I have in mind here, this is anti-money laundering. This is in respect of the Benefits Authority, the SACCO societies. These are people who receive money. What we are doing here is making a provision that if money is received and it is suspected to be money being laundered, they can take action immediately by ensuring that the money is safeguarded interim, as the rest of the action is taken by either the ARA or the finance center. But there must be an interim measure of protecting the money, which is purely administrative. This is what is being provided for. It is not a question of your rights being deprived quickly, Because if you don't do it anyway, it will happen what happened to one of the banks here. Money came from wherever it came from. There was an order of injunction restraining the money from being withdrawn. One judge lifted it, and in less than 10 minutes, the money was actually gone. Because that is the work of money laundering. It is once you are detected, or you believe you're being detected, you move the money as quickly as you deposited it. This is why we are making a provision that in the interim, we have some reasons to preserve the money so that we can move on to establish whether it's proceeds of money laundering.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kinga. The Honorable Memusi Kanchuri, you are recognized. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Speaker, I stand Honorable Speaker, I stand to support this amendment bill on the fact that it seeks to see loopholes in 10 potential areas that can be used or have been used for money laundering. And Speaker, just allow me to briefly explain to the House reasons why Kenya is in the grey list. We are in the grey list, Honorable Speaker, one, because of weak counter of financing terrorism regulatory laws. Two, we have weak AML supervisory and regulatory laws. Three, we have weak risk-based supervisory by supervisors and regulators due to lack of adequate regulatory framework. As we speak, Honorable Speaker, these are just a few areas why we are on the grey list. As we speak, Honorable Speaker, our neighbors in Tanzania are putting measures such as this to get out of the grey list. Honorable Speaker, there are no laws that stand alone. Every law is anchored on the Constitution. Issues that have been raised here, that people will be condemned and heard, Mr. Speaker, is a lie. The Constitution provides for administrative justice. Our banks right now require for you to declare any source of money that is above 1 million shillings. I do not see why these regulations are being taken like people would be condemned if they bring in amounts that they just need to explain. Honorable Speaker, what I want my colleagues to look at is the bigger picture. The economy of this country depends on good laws to be passed. Anti-money laundering laws are laws that will bring in investors to this country. Honorable Speaker, this House is a representative of people. We must look at the security of our people, Honorable Speaker. As much as we are alarmed when we talk about financing of terrorism, terrorism, Honorable Speaker, is financed by money laundering. With those few, Honorable Speaker, I support.
The Honorable Mogaka is recognized. The Honorable Oundo, please approach the speaker. Honorable Mogaka, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to also contribute to this amendment bill, which from the outset I support, and I will, as a member of the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, I had the benefit of listening to very many stakeholders who brought various views that convinced me that this is a bill worth supporting. First, Mr. Speaker, there is a notion that this is a foreign-driven bill or amendment, and nothing can be further from the truth, because this country is a member of the global financial system. And civilized global financial systems have rules of play, and the regulations that apply in those financial systems are the ones Kenya has not satisfied with the consequence that we are in the gray list. As patriots, Mr. Speaker, we have a duty to redeem our country from that kind of listing and put it at par with our peers in the international financial market. Mr. Speaker, the bill seeks to create a level playing ground in the financial system so that under Article 27, Mr. Speaker, every citizen is supposed to be equal before the law. And the manner in which banks are treated under the laws of this country must be the same manner in which cooperative societies and other actors in the financial system are treated.
Mugaka, the Honorable Farah Malim is on a point of order. You said you are proceeding under...
I'm proceeding under
Standing Order number 96?
Yes.
Yeah, proceed.
And Standing Order number 96, one says a member who wishes to postpone to some future occasion the further discussion of a question which has been proposed from the chair may claim to move that the debate be now adjourned. I now claim the debate be now adjourned.
Thank you. Honorable Zamzam to second.
I second Honorable Farah Maalim that we adjourn this debate to another date.
Yes. Honorable Speaker, this kind of debate needs a lot of
Honorable members, I'm the one presiding over the House. Okay? All these interventions are for the good of the proceedings of the House. Okay? And so allow me to manage and preside over the House. The Honorable Farah Malim has stood in his place and proposed that further discussion of this motion be now adjourned to a future date. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. Next order. Next order. Order number 11.
Order number 11, special motion, consideration of a nominee for appointment as a Principal Secretary, State Department for Justice, Human Rights and Constitutional Affairs.
The Chair, Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs, the Honorable Gitonga Murugara.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs on the approval hearing of Honorable Judith Naiyai Ramaita Pareno for appointment as the Principal Secretary of the State Department for Justice, Human Rights and Constitutional Affairs in the Office of the Attorney General and the State Department of Justice. Honorable Speaker, the report by JLAC was tabled yesterday after the approval hearing on the nominee appointed to be PS in the particular State Department, as aforesaid. Honorable Speaker, in compliance with Article 118 of the Constitution...
The Honorable Gitonga Murugara, before you proceed into debate, kindly move the motion as per order paper. I know you are a very senior member at this. Just read, I beg to move so that before we go into the details.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that, taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs in its report on the vetting of a nominee for appointment as Principal Secretary, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 8th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 155(3)(b) of the Constitution, this House approves the appointment of Honorable Judith Naiyai Ramaita Pareno as the Principal Secretary, State Department for Justice, Human Rights and Constitutional Affairs. Honorable Speaker, I wish to confirm that the report of the committee was tabled in the House yesterday, and I believe each of these members has had a copy to look at and make a decision as regards the proposed approval of the PS, the Principal Secretary to the State Department. Honorable Speaker, in compliance with the Constitution, Article 118 of the Constitution, we actually invited members of the public to actually make their written statements on the oath regarding the nominee. However, we confirm that we did not receive any memorandum contesting the suitability of the nominee. May it go on record that the vetting process, which is purely to establish suitability of a nominee, is not an examination. It is also not regarding qualifications and what have you. It's purely to ensure that the person nominated is suitable for that particular post and has the ability to discharge the functions bestowed on the office. Honorable Speaker, we also called for the background check from entities, including the DCI, the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, the HELB, and the ESCC, and all of them cleared this nominee, including KRA. Then, having considered the appointment, how it was done, we were satisfied that the right procedure was actually followed, and that eventually the nominations that were taken, the recommendations that were taken to the President who made the nomination were in accordance with the Public Service Commission Act. Therefore, we then went into analyzing whether this nominee, according to Chapter 6 of the Constitution, satisfies appointment. We confirmed that she is a Kenyan citizen and does not hold dual citizenship, that she has a vast experience having served in various public and leadership positions, including being a member of the ALA, being a senator, and having run elections in one of the big parties in the country. She actually possesses the requisite experience, which is professional. We also confirmed that she has knowledge on matters relating to state law office and the functions of the government in that office, and eventually demonstrated deep understanding, goals, and policies of the development regarding our country. She demonstrated good leadership and management skills, and she actually met all the requirements of Chapter 6 of the Constitution regarding leadership and integrity. Furthermore, Honorable Speaker, the suitability of the nominee was assessed after scrutiny of her background, academic credentials, and professional qualification, and these actually made her to pass. As regards what the committee noted as very important is that there is need to streamline the functions of this office with the office of the Solicitor General. This is a new office that has come into existence, and therefore some form of executive order may be required to state exactly what this principal secretary is going to do vis-a-vis what the Solicitor General does in the state law office. Therefore, having considered all the matters that were before us, Honorable Speaker, we were persuaded that the Honorable Judith Nayai Ramaita Pareno is suitable for the appointment as PS of the State Department of Justice, Human Rights, and Constitutional Affairs. Thus, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that we do actually approve the appointment of this Principal Secretary, whom we are now presenting to this House for approval. And with those very many remarks, after moving, I request the Honorable Ekomas Mwengi Mutuse, the Vice Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs, to actually second this motion. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Mwengi Mutuse.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion that the Honorable Judith Pareno be confirmed, be approved by this House for appointment as the permanent Principal Secretary in charge of Human Rights, Justice and Constitutional Affairs in the Republic of Kenya. The Honorable Chairman has enumerated the procedural legal requirements that we went through and that we are actually satisfied in the process of recruitment. Ms. Jude Pareno is an advocate of many years standing. She comes from Mashuru in Kajiado County. By that, it implies that she is a Maasai woman. In fact, she was among the first Maasai women to become lawyers in the Republic of Kenya. It is a matter of public notoriety that Maasai women are among the most marginalized in the Republic of Kenya. Our Constitution demands that we mainstream minorities and those who are marginalized. And therefore, this nomination and eventual appointment upon approval by this House will be satisfying that very important constitutional requirement that the marginalized also get a space on the leadership and governance table. Ms. Judith Pareno is not a stranger in matters leadership. She has been the chairperson of the elections board of one of the oldest parties in the Republic of Kenya, the Orange Democratic Party. The evidence that was presented before the committee is to the effect that she has run that organization quite professionally and has managed nominations for the party for successive elections in a manner that has entrenched the interest of electoral justice in the party as well as internal democracy. We did ask her how she is going to transition from partisan politics to being a person who is going to serve every Kenyan, because not all Kenyans belong to a political party or persuasion. And I am convinced, just like the committee was convinced, that she is capable of serving all Kenyans irrespective of their political persuasion. Chair, Mr. Speaker, Ms. Judy Pareno, like my chairman has stated, has been appointed to an important docket. The docket that is going to be dealing with matters human rights, a docket that is going to be dealing with matters justice, and a docket that is going to be dealing with matters constitutionalism. You know that Kenya, our Constitution 2010, as one of the most robust Bill of Rights in Africa, and I dare say in the world. And as such, it is important at the highest level of government to mainstream issues of human rights. And there was nobody better to do that other than a Maasai lawyer, woman lawyer, who has been in the human rights circles for all our time. And therefore, I want to persuade colleague members of parliament that it is important to approve this nomination for eventual appointment. As we do so, and Chairman has stated, it is important as we look at the Constitution, we also look at the Office of the Attorney General Act. The Office of the Attorney General Act does designate the Solicitor General as accounting officer of the state law office. It also does designate the Solicitor General as the administrative head of the state law office. The Constitution, on the other hand, gives the administrative leadership of state departments to principal secretaries. And that's why in our report we are recommending to the appointing authority, the president, that he issues an executive order in terms of organization of government to clarify the roles of the new principal secretary in charge of human rights, justice and constitutional affairs vis-a-vis the statutory mandate bestowed on the Solicitor General under the Office of the Attorney General Act. We are convinced that this is important to be done in order to cause operational harmony so that the two offices do not clash. Having said that, because this is not about the appointee, we are well aware also it is within the powers of the president to create offices. And when an office is created and somebody is nominated to that office, even if there is a clash, that cannot be put to them. That can only be put to the appointing authority. And because Mrs. Jude Pareno met all requirements, and most importantly, is satisfying an important requirement of marginalization, women from the Maasai community. In fact, will be among the first women from the Maasai community to become principal secretaries in the Republic of Kenya. In the interest of affirmative action, in the interest of upholding professionalism, a professional was admitted as an advocate in the year 1996. In the interest of upholding the rights of women, because women also deserve to be principal secretaries. In the interest of mainstreaming issues of human rights in our governance system, so that every other decision that is being taken by government, there is an element of human rights in it. I urge the House in seconding the motion that we approve the nomination of Mrs. Jude Pareno to be a principal secretary as appointed. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Did you say you second?
Yes, second. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Just say for the avoidance of doubt.
For the record, Mr. Speaker, I second the motion that Ms. Jude Pareno be appointed that this House approves the motion as moved by the Chair of the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, the very able George Gitonga Morogara.
The second, okay. Honorable members, I now propose the question that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs in its report on the vetting of a nominee for appointment as Principal Secretary laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 8th April 2025, pursuant to the provisions of Article 155(3)(b) of the Constitution, this House approves the appointment of Honorable Judith Nayai Ramaita Pareno as Principal Secretary, State Department for Justice, Human Rights, and Constitutional Affairs. The Honorable Farah Maalim.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion on the appointment of Madam Judy Pareno. Mr. Speaker, I've known Judy Pareno for over 20 years. We were there in ODM when the Orange Democratic Movement was founded. And she has been there as a loyal party stalwart for the longest. A lady of integrity, a lady of immense potentiality, and I am confident, a lawyer, I am confident that she's going to do a fantastic job in this new establishment. I also add my voice on the issue of who is going to be the accounting officer for that organization, for that department. Because right now, the Solicitor General is the accounting officer. But all ministries, the permanent secretaries are accounting officers. By dint of the appointment itself, she has a right to assume the position of accounting officer, because that's what every other permanent secretary is. But here, we have a little bit of a multiplicity of roles that needs to be clarified. Even if there's need to do certain amendments to our pieces of legislation, we might as well go ahead and do that. But I can tell you one thing, Pareno will perform and perform very good. She is spotless, and I'm saying this from a position of experience when it comes to integrity, performance, and intellectual capacity, more so because she's also an accomplished lawyer. So I add my voice as a lady from also marginalized communities. Even if she was put in a contest with every other community, she will still emerge as a top. I have a strong belief in that. And I want to say that let's pass this. And Mr. Speaker, you don't have to take a lot of time. You might as well put the question now. Thank you.
The Honorable Zamzam Chimba, the Member of Parliament for Mombasa County.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi niweze kuongeza sauti yangu katika nomination ya dada yetu Judith Pareno. Huyu ni mama ambaye ametoka katika jamii ambayo ni katika wale ambao wamefanywa unyanyapaa, yani marginalized, na ni mama ambaye amekuwa jasiri sana. Kutoka katika jamii kama hii na kisha akasoma, akawa lawyer, akaja wakati mmoja akawa MP kule Iyala, akaja akawa pia nominated senator. Yani ukiangalia vile anavyokwenda katika maisha yake Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi nilimjua nikiwa pale ODM. Wakati nimeenda kujiandikisha mara ya kwanza kama mwanachama wa ODM, nilimpata pale ofisini Mheshimiwa Spika, alinikaribisha na furaha, akanipa nguvu, akanambia Zamzam, wewe usijali hata kama umetoka sehemu ambayo pengine wanawake bado hawajachukuliwa vizuri, lakini kwa uweledi wako naona una uongozi ndani yako. Na mimi na imani kuwa ukipata hichi kiti Mombasa utaiweka juu. Na kweli yale maneno yake yalinipa ujasiri, na leo mnaniona katika bunge nikizungumza, watu wanasikiza na Mombasa inafurahi. Na kule pia Mombasa nafanya kazi ili nisiweze kumwangusha. Kwa hiyo ni mwanamke ambaye alikuwa anatupa sisi wanawake nguvu za kuweza kufanya kazi na kuamini kuwa mwanamke sehemu yake si jikoni tu. Mwanamke pia anaweza kuwa ndani ya boardroom, akaweza kutoa maamuzi mazito ya taifa. Kwa hiyo mimi Mheshimiwa Spika nampigia upatu sana, na muombea Mungu katika hii nomination yake. Na mimi najua sasa ashakuwa, manake kama tunapitisha hapa atakuwa na ataweza kuleta mawazo ambao ni mawazo mazuri kwenye kujenga taifa la Kenya. Kwa hiyo mimi nampa support yangu kubwa kama mama county wa Mombasa, na mwambia Judith, endelea kutuinua sisi wanawake. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
The Honorable Umulker Harun.
Thank you, Speaker. I want to add my voice on the motion of the nomination of the Honorable Member. I worked with Judith when she was actively serving in the elections board of the party. At that time, I had no interest in politics, neither was I running, but she was very quick to mentor me. And I believe she will be able to mentor and offer her leadership skills to the country. She is someone who has gone through the hands of Honorable Raila Odinga. So I have full faith in the kind of servant leadership that she will be offering. She is the face of the girl child from the nomadic and the pastoral communities. We are very proud of her, and from where I stand, I want to encourage her, and I wish her all the best even as she takes up this position, because from where I sit, I have full confidence that she'll be able to deliver. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Catherine Omanyo, the Member of Parliament for Busia County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a lot of admiration for the incoming PS, Judy Pareno. I bumped into her when we were at the ODM meetings, the national arrangements, and the way she was carrying herself around, the self-confidence. She's also a powerful speaker, and then the perseverance, having gone through and penetrated all the traditions that everybody knows that our brothers and sisters go through in the Maasai land. She's gone beyond those hinges, she's gone beyond those barriers, and she's a real role model to all girls who would have had excuses of not making it up there, because who else has a definition like that? Then everybody should be just having admiration to such a person, because even when you meet her, she doesn't remember that she is a Maasai or anything. She possesses that, there is a way she just talks and sits and looks and listens. I just know she will not be a letdown, and I fully support that that's the right person for that seat. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable George Sunkuya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to raise my voice on the appointment of Honorable Judy Pareno for the appointment as the principal of the State Department for Justice and Human Rights and Constitutional Affairs. Mr. Speaker, this lady, I knew her in 2005 after the defeat of the Wako draft, when the Right Honorable Raila Odinga and the President of the Republic of Kenya, when they formed ODM party. During my first election as a councillor, that I joined the NAC, the Liberal Democratic Party, and later on we formed the ODM when I was elected as councillor in 2007. This lady became the director of election in ODM, that I was given a ticket by this lady. This is a lady that is capable. She has, she is integrate to be fair, and he's the right person, and the first woman lady to be appointed as principal, as secretary in the Maasai land. So I support the appointment. That is, this touches the Maasai land when this lady was appointed. So I submit the approval of Honorable Judy Nayayai Ramaita Pareno.
The Honorable Memusi Kanchori.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and just for correction, I'm not the member of parliament for Mashuru area. Mashuru area is in Kajiado East. But Honorable Speaker, I stand to support the nominee, who is Honorable Judith Nayai Ramaita Pareno, for the appointment of as Principal Secretary, State Department for Justice, Human Rights and Constitutional Affairs. Honorable Speaker, as my colleagues have said, Judy Pareno is a known achiever. I have not known Judy for long, but I've known her at least for the last 10 years when I first came into politics in 2015 through a by-election. This is the time I got to interact with Judy Pareno when I vied in the Orange Democratic Party. And Honorable Speaker, let me also just take this opportunity to really thank the party leader of Orange Democratic Movement, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, for giving this outstanding lady this chance. It's not the only chance that Judith Pareno has gotten from the generosity of the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Judy first came to the limelight serving as a nominated senator, courtesy of the ODM party. And later on, after serving a 5-year term, she was again nominated to